Once upon a time, in a sunny meadow surrounded by whispering trees and a gentle stream, there lived 3 little pigs. They were brothers, born on a pleasant spring morning, each with a curious mind and a love for adventure. Their mother, an old and wise pig, had raised them with warmth and care, but as they grew older, she knew it was time for them to venture into the world and build lives of their own. One morning she called them together near their cozy straw hut. "My dear children," she said with a sigh, "you have grown strong and clever. The time has come for you to build your own homes and find your own paths in the world. But remember, whatever you do, do it well. Don't take the easy road, for it often leads to danger." The 3 little pigs hugged their mother and promised to make her proud. With small bundles on their backs and dreams in their hearts, they set off down the dusty path that wound through the forest. The first little pig was cheerful but rather lazy. He whistled as he walked, thinking of how nice it would be to finish his work quickly so he could spend his days relaxing. Soon he found a farmer carrying a cart full of straw. "Good day, sir," said the pig. "Would you sell me some straw? I wish to build my house." The farmer smiled and agreed, selling the pig a large bundle of straw. The little pig set to work right away, tying and stacking the straw into walls. In only a few hours he had finished. It wasn't perfect, but it looked cozy enough. He stood proudly before it and said, "Now I can rest and play all day. No wolf will bother me." The second little pig was a bit more thoughtful, though still eager for an easy life. After walking some distance, he met a man carrying sticks. "Good day," said the pig. "Would you sell me some sticks? I'm going to build my house." The man nodded and helped him load the sticks onto his back. The pig worked for 2 days, carefully tying the sticks together. His house was stronger than his brother's, and when he was done, he said, "This will keep me safe and warm. It's good enough." Then he danced around his new home, proud of his effort. The third little pig, however, was wise and hard-working, much like his mother. He wanted to build a house that would last, a house that no wolf could ever destroy. He walked farther than his brothers until he met a mason carrying a heavy load of bricks. "Good day," said the pig. "Would you sell me some bricks? I wish to build a strong house." The mason agreed, and the little pig bought as many bricks as he could carry. He worked tirelessly for days, mixing mortar, laying bricks, and stacking them neatly one by one. The sun rose and set, and his brothers often visited, teasing him for working so hard. "Why spend so much time?" laughed the first pig. "You could be playing with us." But the third pig only smiled. "I'd rather work now and rest safely later," he said. Finally, after a week of steady work, the brick house stood firm and beautiful, with a sturdy door and a chimney that reached into the sky. Days passed peacefully until one gloomy afternoon, a shadow crept into the meadow. It was the big bad wolf. He was hungry, cunning, and cruel. His yellow eyes gleamed as he sniffed the air. "Ah, pigs," he growled softly. "3 little pigs all alone. I'll have myself a fine feast." He crept to the first house, made of straw, and knocked on the door. Little pig, let me come in," he said in a sly, sing-song voice. The first little pig, trembling behind the door, replied, "No, no, by the hair on my chinny chin, I will not let you in." The wolf grinned, showing his sharp teeth. "Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in." He took a deep breath, and with one mighty huff, the straw house flew apart. The little pig squealed and ran as fast as his legs could carry him to his brother's house of sticks. The wolf, licking his lips, followed close behind. At the stick house, the 2 pigs bolted the door. The wolf knocked again. Little pigs, let me come in." not by the hair on our chins, they cried together. Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in, growled the wolf. He puffed his chest and blew with all his strength. The sticks creaked, swayed, and then collapsed into a pile of splinters. The two terrified pigs squealed and dashed off to their brother's brick house, the wolf racing after them. When they reached the sturdy brick house, the third little pig welcomed them inside and locked the door. "Don't be afraid," he said. "The wolf can't blow this house down." Soon enough, the wolf arrived and banged on the door. Little pigs, let me come in. Not by the hair on our chins, the three shouted bravely. Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in, snarled the wolf. He took the deepest breath he could and blew with all his might. But the brick house stood firm. He tried again and again until he was red in the face, but the house did not move. Finally, exhausted, he sat down and growled, "Very well. If I can't blow it down, I'll find another way in." The pigs peered out the window, trembling. "He's climbing onto the roof," whispered the first little pig. "He's going to come down the chimney," cried the second. But the third little pig had already thought of a plan. He quickly lit a fire in the fireplace and set a big pot of water to boil. The wolf clambered down the chimney, chuckling to himself. "They think they're safe," he sneered. "I'll have roast pig for dinner tonight." But as he slid down, his tail touched the hot steam rising from the pot. "Yow-wah," he howled, leaping out of the chimney and into the pot with a splash. The water sizzled, and he sprang out, howling and smoking. He tore out of the house and disappeared into the woods, never to bother the pigs again. The three little pigs hugged each other in relief. The first little pig said, "Oh, brother, I should have listened to you. My straw house was no match for the wolf." The second nodded sadly. "And my stick house was no better. You were wise to build a strong one." The third little pig smiled kindly. "It's never too late to learn. The easy path may be pleasant at first, but it can lead to danger. Hard work and patience always pay off." From that day on, the three brothers lived together in the brick house. They rebuilt their lives, planting a garden and enjoying peaceful days in safety. The first pig learned to weave baskets and thatched roofs. The second became a skilled carpenter, building furniture and fences. And the third, clever and steady, became a builder who helped other animals construct sturdy homes. Word of the wolf's defeat spread through the forest, and all the animals came to visit the brave little pigs. The wise mother pig, hearing of her son's triumph, came to see them too. She was proud beyond measure. "You have learned the greatest lesson," she said. "Strength comes not from size or speed, but from wisdom, effort, and courage." Seasons passed, and the meadow bloomed in peace. The three pigs grew older, but remained the best of friends. Sometimes, as the sun set over the hills, they would sit by the fireplace, remembering their adventure and laughing at the memory of the wolf's silly face as he fled from the chimney. One evening, as the golden light faded, the youngest pig looked up at the stars and said softly, "I think what makes a house a home isn't just walls or roof. It's the care we put into it, and the love we share." His brothers nodded. The fire crackled, the wind whispered gently outside, and the three little pigs lived happily ever after, safe, content, and wise. Years later, many young animals of the forest would visit the three pigs to hear their tale. The pigs would tell them, "Build your life like our brick house, strong, honest, and with care, because what you build with patience will stand against any storm." And so the legend of the three little pigs was passed down from generation to generation, not just as a story of danger and cleverness, but as a lesson in hard work, foresight, and the value of doing things right the first time. The meadow remained peaceful, the brick house standing tall as proof of the brothers' wisdom. And though the big bad wolf never returned, the pigs never forgot the day they learned that true strength lies in preparation, unity, and heart. And that is how the three little pigs, through courage and wisdom, lived out their days in happiness and safety, a shining example to all who heard their story.